What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Other Side of the Firewall podcast, where we talk about the latest and greatest in cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by Shannon Tynes.
What's up? What's up?
And Daniel Acevedo.
How's it going, guys?
What's going on? So, welcome to the Friday episode, right? So this is the movies, books, games, all that good stuff. So we don't really do a lot of cyber in this. But if you have not already, please go back and tune in to Monday, Tuesday, our topics, Wednesday discussion, Thursdays, Ask the CISSP, and the Fridays, everything else. Without further ado, Shannon, how was your week?
It was okay. I don't really have anything to complain about. You know, my Penn State Lions lost to Oregon. You know what I mean? You know, it's one of those things where I heard the sports guys say this all week, and I was like, man, I'll be damned if that ain't true. They said with our coach James Franklin, they said the next big game he wins will be the first one, and I was like, man, I'll be doggone if that ain't true. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I mean, we played better than I thought we would, but like there was a point, like the stretch in the beginning, like we had 4 15-yard penalties in the first 17 minutes of the game.
Right.
I was like, come on, like what are y'all doing? 2 face masks, like what was one? I don't know. I forget what it was, but 4 15-yarders. But it's whatever. We lost it. We still in the hunt for the championship, but we'll see how far we go. We're still in the playoffs.
I gotta get into college football one day, man. So I think I finally have a college team, right? So my daughter goes to USF, and my wife was recently accepted into the master's program there.
Congrats.
So I guess, definitely pass that along. So I guess I'm a USF fan. Are they good?
In what sport?
It's the same thing when I was in Buffalo, right? Like the good college football teams are like Syracuse, like they're a little bit further out. Like it's never just like you don't really hear about Buff State or UB or Canisius, like killing it, right? Like we're like D2, D3 teams. So
here's what I'll tell you, and I always say this to my wife whenever she asks me something I don't want to give an answer. I always say to her, man, this weather outside, huh? It's something. That's what you might have to start saying when it comes to USF.
Right.
This weather outside is something. Ain't it cold outside?
Well, I guess that's all the answer I need.
Yeah.
It goes in waves. They might be good at some point, right? But yeah, basketball, I don't recall them being that great. Football, no.
USF, no.
Yeah. I can't think of it.
I don't really hear about them. Why you used to hear about like the Gators, right? Florida Gators.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, y'all got a bunch of big time sports teams down there in Florida, though, right? You got your Florida States, your Miamis, your
right.
Florida.
So you got Miami.
So like I don't know, man. It's just
if Junior goes to Miami for college, then I can jump on that
There
one.
we go.
Right? You could.
I just can't be a fan just to be a fan. I gotta have some kind of association.
Yep.
How your wife and daughter gonna feel after that, though? They'd be like, wait a minute, we went to USF.
Right. I got all this University of Miami gear on, the hoodies.
You out here throwing up the.
They'll understand.
Yeah, so we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We'll see, man. I mean, that's. I'm gonna let you make that decision. This is on record right now. This is out here for everybody. It will never be lost. Like once this goes up, so I just want your daughter and your wife to know I didn't tell them to pick anything. USF all the way. You know.
I try to catch any strays on behalf of
right.
Ryan Williams Sr. over here. But that's my problem with the NFL in general too. The thing you just said, Ryan, because I like football, but it's not as a big a sport when I was growing up in Puerto Rico.
Right.
And we don't have a team down there, so I'm always at a loss I haven't chosen a team. I know I should have by now, but I feel like it's obviously more fun to root when you have a team to root for.
Yeah, exactly. Instead for fantasy. Not fantasy.
Yeah,
not fantasy.
Fantasy is fun just to play regardless, right? I mean, it makes watching at least, more interesting. But like I haven't done fantasy the last 2 years because of like life changes and moving over here to Japan and stuff like that. And now if I watch a game, I'm like, I gravitate towards like good QBs and stuff like that, or nice offenses or whatever. But I'm like, man, I just feel like a bandwagoner just jumping for whatever team's the hottest. And I need to choose one eventually.
Right. Yeah, so I think for you, well, so I don't know if there was a lot of big players from the NFL that came from Puerto Rico during your childhood. Because I don't think you'd be able to gravitate towards players because you kind of have to, right? Or you can go by region, then you would have to pick Miami I feel bad for you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Or where my family lives would be between New York, so it'd be what the Giants or the
The
Bills, I guess. At the
only team that plays in New York,
I was
the Buffalo Bills.
look, hey, look, my eyes got big when you said, yeah, the Giants. I was like, what was in New York? I was like, let me see what happened.
If it says I'm listening to the Bills also, I was gonna get there.
The Giants and the Jets play in Jersey. All right.
Exactly. Look, I
That's
was going to
sick.
say that. I was like, yeah, you say New York. Like, even though the teams are New York teams, they play in New Jersey. Like, Buffalo is the only New York team that plays in the state of New York.
We are New York. Well,
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. Like, because it's the same thing with my middle son, right? So like RJ was born in Alaska. What do you do with that, right? Ayana was born in Idaho. What do you do with that? The only one that was born in our youngest was born in Virginia. So like he can, he has some little sway there. But yeah, if you're born in one of those states, you just gotta figure it out.
Yeah,
you gotta
pretty much.
Gotta pick somebody and stick with them.
Yeah,
You could be a Bills fan. I'm fine with that.
I'll workshop it. I'll see. They're good this year. They've been good for the last couple of years.
At least 5 years in a row.
I do want to point out, though, that one of those two losses was to Baltimore. So if you want to come on our back,
Here we go.
if you want to come on
Here
our
we go.
hey, don't pay attention to the last couple of weeks. Like, we fallen off a little bit. Hey, if you want to come onto the bandwagon, I'll put the call in. I'll call Bashotti and I'll call Harbaugh. I'll be like, hey, we got another one. Mr. Acevedo wants to jump on. I vouch for him.
It's too much pressure. See, this is what happens with football players, like football enthusiasts. Everybody wants you to join their team. I can't say, I don't want to break anybody's heart.
Right.
I divide the houses and more.
But I was gonna say, who's your wife's team? Like, go with that.
Is she a sports fan like that though? Like that's the thing.
Not for football. No.
Yeah.
Not even basketball.
So for me, like I like basketball, but I watch for the players. I don't have a favorite NBA team. NFL, yeah, it's all Ravens all the way. College, I'm Penn State. But for NBA, no, I just watch for the players. Like, you have stars. I want to see what these stars are doing.
Right.
I can watch.
See, I'm still home team, so I'm still going with the Knicks.
Yeah.
We had a long bout of issues.
Yeah, they're good
long
now.
bout. Right. So I'm just like, and now I feel bandwagon because like when they were not playing well, I did not rep the Knicks. I didn't rep anybody. I just stayed silent, right? And now they're starting to play well. I'm like, I kind of want to hype them up, but I'm like, I can't. People will know.
You can't be out here putting your head down when the times get lean. You can't do that, Ryan.
Like an ostrich, my head was in the sand.
But yeah, I mean, they lost, so we're still in the playoff. We'll see what comes of that. Stuff that I watched, I continued on with this documentary, Breath of Fire. And it's this fake yogi that's out here and how they're scamming people and whatnot. And like, I'm very fascinated by this when I watch these documentaries on how people, like, I hear the people realize it after the fact, but I'm like, how do you not realize it when you're in the midst of it, that this is this is crazy. You know what I mean? Like how they were abused, how they were not really paid for all the work they were putting in. And then after the fact, like there was one part where the girl's talking about what they were doing for these different tiers that they got people into. And she was like, wow, like as she's giving the interview, she's like, wow, that was really bad. And I'm like, how'd you come to that realization now, like as you're talking on camera? And it could be fake, right? But I'm like, how'd you not know when you're in it, you know? But I don't know.
I think it's just part of the human condition, man. Like I'm sure if some of those Jim Jones followers were still around, they'd do the same thing.
But do people need to belong that bad? Maybe that's what it is. And my wife sometimes calls me a psychopath, right? She's not a psychopath. But she says I don't have any feelings. So sociopath, whichever one that is. She thinks I don't have feelings.
Sociopath.
So I'm like, no. I was like, these people are adults that are wronging you. Like, what is all this? You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't get it. Like,
but I think that's how nature susses us out, right? Like you have to have a large group of worker ants or worker bees or whatever, people who follow the hive mind, and then you have to have outliers in case it hits the fan. So you'd be one of those outliers, right? But I think you have to have a certain population of different types of these mentalities in order for the whole to survive. Because if everybody was independent and by themselves, we'd all freeze to death, right?
Yeah.
So you have to have some people who all clamor together. It's just when you're on the outside looking in, you're like, these people are dumb. But people on the inside are like, yeah, we're super smart.
But that's pretty much been it for me. Not a lot of media watching this week. But Daniel, how was your week, man?
This week was not great. Last week was cool. I've been off for 2 weeks. Went back to the East Coast to visit some family. Time zones killed me, but it was fun. Brought my daughter with me. It was just the two of us, the first time traveling together. I don't like to brag and be a proud dad, but I have an amazing kid. She made it super easy to go there and back on the airplane.
That is
I
awesome. Yeah.
actually never been through TSA so fast going and coming, even though it was craziness. Like coming back, man, it's been a long time since I've seen that many people at the airport. It's a little like alarming. We were there like 5 a.m. I was one of those dads. Like, we gotta get there 6 hours before, and
Right,
I was glad
right.
I did it because the line for Delta was like 3 blocks long, and it took a long time to get there, get our bags checked, and then get through TSA. I gotta admit, everything was pretty organized. We flew out of Orlando. It was very organized for the amount of people that were there. They did a pretty good job, so hats off to them. Another feel good story of the week. It was a good job. But while I was there, I ate a lot of good food, a lot of good Puerto Rican / Thanksgiving food. I'm not a big Thanksgiving guy per se, food wise. I don't know why, but I guess it had been a long time since I've had it, and it was slapping. It was really good.
Right.
I ate way too much. One thing I do realize though, man, the food out here is different because the whole time I was with my sister down there, I was dehydrated the whole time. I don't know what it is we put in the food in the US. I could not get hydrated. I was just like thirsty the whole time, even though I enjoyed the food.
Right. All that sodium.
Man, it was driving me like a raisin. It was rough. I'm not gonna lie. Took the little one to Disney. It was pretty cool. Just the two of us. Had a good time taking her on the rides, seeing the gazillion people that were out there Thanksgiving weekend. I was like, don't you have things to do? Like, why are you all out here up in my lines? I wanted it to go fast, but in between all that, media wise, I did get a chance to finish the first season of Arcane on Netflix.
Oh, you finished it. Okay.
Yeah, I'm now going to watch the second one. I don't play League of Legends, but I have a couple buddies that don't play it either, and they watch this, and you should watch it. It's really, really good. So yeah, I took their advice, and it was better than I expected. With a lot of American animation, sometimes I don't know what to expect.
Right.
Like, it's funny, DC movies are left a lot to want, but DC animated movies are amazing. Like, they're really good. The voice acting, the stories, all that stuff. So I was happy. Arcane was like, you could tell they spent a lot of money with the story, the casting, the voice actors, like everything, the animation. It's really well done. But media-wise, I think that's the only thing I got into. I'm trying to think. There's like so much stuff I want to watch. I've been too lazy to get around to watching it. Like, I have a new setup here. I like got a new desk. I was drilling holes in this thing, setting it up. The website's up, and now I gotta like film content. And I'm like, oh crap, I don't do that. So like, I've been spending a lot of time watching YouTube videos and like which software to use to like edit the stuff, and like seeing people that do that kind of content here in Japan, what it looks like, what it's like, and all that kind of stuff. So just doing a lot of like that stuff. And then before I know it, it's like 11 o'clock at night. I was like, oh, I have a job in the morning. Let me go to sleep, right? And try to keep that for a while. So, but yeah, that's been kind of my last 2 weeks. There's a lot of travel. This week was horrible. We came back jet lag. Plus, I got sick and my kid got sick. Plus, when you travel to Asia from the US, you'll land, and the first couple of nights, you will wake up around 2 or 3 in the morning, and you will be the most awake you've ever been in your life. Like, I'm not kidding. You're just like awake. It's like there's no way you're going back to sleep. So I was sick. I just wake up and just start reading stuff and doing stuff. And then, okay, I guess I'm just going to work now. And then 3 o'clock in the afternoon hits, and you just want to fall asleep at your desk. It's like really rough. And then eventually, after I hit a week now and I feel better, cold finally passed itself. I did neti pot for like 6 days straight just to get all that stuff out of my system, and slept 10 hours on Friday, which I never do. I like went to sleep with my daughter. I put her to sleep, and then I woke up, it was like 1 a.m. and I was like, I guess I'm just going, this is my Friday night. And I went back to sleep, and I woke up the next day. But I felt great after that, so I guess I needed it. But what about you, Ryan? What you get into this week?
So we went to Universal, right? So we try to,
Nice.
during the breaks, you try to take them to Universal or Disney or something, right? Do a staycation. So went to Universal. Actually, wasn't that bad. There was a few people out there, but it's Florida code, right? So it wasn't the most packed. It normally is. So it enjoyed it. Found out they were making another park.
Nice.
I've been kind of disconnected from all the developments because I was gone for a couple years. But yeah, next year they'll debut a fourth Universal Park will be open. And the lady at the hotel we were staying in, she was like, "I would recommend not going the first year." She was like,
Yes.
she was like, "It's going to be standing room only." She's probably right, right? Like, so that was a fun experience. We had a good time. We did a couple of days.
Is it going to be in Orlando? Where's this other one going?
It's going to be in Orlando. It'll be, I think she said it's roughly 15 minutes away from Islands of Adventure. So it'll be a bus between the two of the resorts. And she said, yeah, full on park, its own hotel, everything. But she was like, it's probably going to be pretty booked up.
What's the theme? Anything different?
I don't know, to be honest with you. I got to check that out. Because I know that there'll be at least one Harry Potter thing there, right? They're really pushing Wicked hard. So Wicked was a big theme when we were there. And then, because we're in studios, right? So you have the studio part, and you have Adventure Isles, and then I forget what the other one, Volcano Bay. And now this fourth one, they're standing up. So I think it'll be a lot of their new properties probably. And a lot of these are being revamped. Like they took down a lot of the Woody Woodpecker stuff, right? Because kids don't even know who that is anymore.
Yeah.
And they're also doing some remodeling around all of the Marvel stuff because they still have the Hulk and all the old Marvel comic stuff.
Wow.
Pre-Disney purchase, right?
Yeah.
Back when I guess they'll have it in perpetuity, right? As long as they're using the license, they could just keep paying Disney for it. But I think they're going to revamp that stuff too. Because they have a lot of IP outside of like Fast and Furious and stuff like that, which they're also, they're going to redo that ride because it's neither fast nor furious. It's not good at all. So I think they're redoing a lot of that stuff. And then this, like, I honestly have no idea what's going to be in the fourth resort, but it definitely has piqued my interest because I like to do something new, right? So I've done all the rides at all the other ones, right? So yeah, give me something new.
That's going to be where Fast and Furious goes, where you're in a submarine that goes into outer space.
Right. They say they want to not reboot, but they want to get it back to its roots. I'm like, you can't put the genie back in a bottle. Like you can't.
No, it's too late.
You'll go back to tuning vehicles and driving them? What? No, I'd be very shocked. But yeah, so we did that. That was a lot of fun. I saw Red One with the family as well. I was a little soft on it at first, but the more I think about it, I'm like, that actually was pretty good because I keep forgetting it's a kid movie because they cursed a lot. Like a lot of S-bombs were in that movie. So I think it was PG-13, but like they took it to the edge, right? It was kid oriented. It was a lot of fun, but I kept trying to put it through an adult lens. I was just like, that's kind of soft here, and this didn't really make sense. But the more I think about it, I'm like, no, that was a kids movie. So I think they hit the nail on the head. I think it was good for a kids movie. So I would recommend it if your kids say you want to go see it and you don't mind a little bit of cursing, check it out.
I think it's because of the action stars. Like the stars in it are action stars. That's what you're expecting, right? Like you're expecting a lot more of that. You want
there was some action, like not giving anything away because you see it in the trailer, but there's a fight with some snowmen. It was pretty gritty. That's why I kept putting me into adult mode, like because not because there's no blood. Obviously, they're fighting snowmen, but the snowman like they're like all diesel. The dude has a pipe, you know what I mean, like the corn pipe or whatever. Like they look like some like you see them like in a European British type gang movie, right? That's how they come out of the van. It's interesting. Let's say it's interesting. So I would say check it out. And then what other media I consume? I started Arcane, so I watched the first episode. Really good. The budget's ridiculous. They spent a lot of money.
Oh, for season 2, you mean?
Oh yeah. Even in the first episode, like, there's some hand drawn stuff, and I'm just like I've never seen before. Like they really went all out. So I think you'll enjoy it. At least from episode 1, right? And then I saw something else. I can't remember. It was like a scary movie or something like that, but it was unremarkable, I guess, because I can't remember what it was. And I watched the first episode of Penguin with my wife. Really good. Like I hope it stays as good as the first episode. It's not a terrible.
Really?
It's not a terrible lot of action, right?
It got a good rating. So it got good stuff. Like
so it doesn't hook you with the bait and switch. It hooks you with how grounded it is. And I love that. I love when comic book stuff is more grounded. Like this version is definitely like it opens up with a scene from the Batman, right? Like it does have Batman in it. It has, Oswald in it or whatever. So it literally is an extension of the movie. Like it has it feels like the same budget, the same caliber of acting, and it has some really interesting characters. So you get to see the street side of DC versus the fantastical side or whatever. Because
Superheroes and all that stuff.
where he's currently at, he's just a low level gangster, right?
So he's not the crime boss he's made out to be when you see him in the movies and whatnot.
So I'm really enjoying it so far. Like my wife really liked it too, so we'll continue watching that. We probably do like an episode every couple of days or whatever, stretch it out. But so far, I'm liking what I'm seeing. Has some really unique characters in it, and I'm going to keep that going. And then I played more Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. That game was long, so it's going to take me through the end of the year playing that. But I also played a little bit of Death Stranding on the PC. Still graphically super impressive. Kojima does his thing with mechanics and graphics. The story makes no sense, and it probably never will. I don't know. Like they took this dude off the leash and just like, hey, make a compelling story. It is wild. It's like the type of sci-fi where you're looking for a brand new universe with new language, right? Like the vocabulary is also unique of how they describe stuff. So it's just like, I don't know if I'm going to make it very far. Maybe it'll hook me. Maybe like some of this stuff they're talking about will all come together. But right now it just seems like a bunch of stars it's like an Apple TV show or movie. They just like, here's a bunch of money, go make something.
It's fun.
So I'm gonna keep playing it, see where I go, because like graphically it's holding me. I'm just like, yo, this is pretty.
Dang.
So it has me on that. But yeah, the story is just nonsensical. And I'm waiting today. Today's the 8th, right? So the Indiana Jones game drops on Game Pass.
Oh yeah,
so
I saw that.
It's been getting 9s and 10s.
Really?
They say if you like Riddick Escape from Butcher Bay was a game that Machine Games made back in the day, which was one of the best Xbox 360, I want to say, games that came out. If you like that type of game with a little mixture of Wolfenstein mixed into it from a first-person perspective, they nailed the IP. They're like, this is Indiana Jones. So I'm like, okay, I'll give it a shot. It's on Game Pass, so it's quote unquote free to me. So I'll give it a shot. But that's pretty much it. And then obviously just the work rigmarole, trying to get I got my 9 to 5. I got my RAM security. I'm trying to always raise the caliber of the podcast. So just doing the same old. But that's it for me, man. Just trying to chill for the holidays. But definitely continue to tune in throughout the week. Again, Monday, Tuesday are topics, Wednesday discussion, Thursdays Ask the CSSP, Fridays everything else just like this. Hit us up on all the websites that go by our name. You can hit me up at Rai Security Guy, pretty much everywhere, especially on LinkedIn. And you can find Daniel by his name on LinkedIn. Stay safe, stay secure.